Hey guys, it's Jenny. I've been trying to do this video all day and I keep thinking I'm gonna make myself look cuter for you guys. Obviously not gonna happen, so I'm gonna practice what I preach and not try to be a perfectionist, but just share good content and be real with y'all. Cause you know, perfectionism is just something that holds us back from sharing things that people need to hear, right? So here I am in my imperfect self and I wanna share with you guys about a really cool event that's happening this week. Hey Sam, that I'm missing out on and why I'm totally okay with it. Because as you guys know, I love my jobs. I love being a doctor. Hey Michelle. I love being a health and fitness coach. I love what I do. Actually, if some of you guys know me well, you know that I actually had zero plans to have kids because I just wanted to work. And so I'm a workaholic at heart and it's something I always have to fight against. And this week is one of our really amazing events. It's for my Beachbody coaching that I do. This is our annual event. I earned special recognition there to go to some special parties and events, some great training. We're going to hear Rachel Hollis, who wrote Girl Wash Your Face. Hey, Chris. We're going to hear, I forget his first name, but the guy that wrote Atomic Habits is going to be there speaking. There's parties. There's great training from top coaches who are making literally like 7 figures a year that you can learn and grow. There's so much quality time with your team, with my amazing coaches. Hi guys who are there. It's so awesome. I love this event, okay? And guys, this year I had signed up and I was gonna go and I had my ticket and everything up until about a month ago. And I kept telling myself I was gonna find a way to make it work for an entire year. And then I decided not to go. And I want to talk a little bit about that experience. So the reason I'm not going, the short answer is because Nora, my daughter, is turning 3 on Friday. And if you guys know Nora, you know, hey Michelle, you know that she absolutely loves birthdays. Since January, she's been planning her birthday party. She's been talking about it. This is in stark contrast to Charlie, who literally, like, when his birthday comes up, I'm gonna cry, guys. When his birthday comes up, he doesn't even know really what he wants to do or what he wants to have at his party, and he's very laid back about the whole thing. He just wants to have some cool presents and whatever. Nora has been like planning her unicorn party, etc., for months. And so when they announced that our Beachbody event was going to be on the weekend of July 12th last year, I was like, oh no, it's Nora's birthday. But at that time, I kind of thought, well, maybe I can take my family with me to the Midwest to this event and I can somehow like go to the event in the day and do birthday party stuff at night. And I had this like whole plan in my head of how I was going to be able to do everything and put my family first and put my business first and do it all. Because that's how I am, right? If you guys know me, that's how I am. I can always do everything, right? And I had this all in my head. And so months and months went by. And then, you know, I sat down with Kevin like a couple months ago and I'm like, okay, like I'm just trying to think, like, can we take the whole family with us out to Indianapolis and like figure out something to do for Nora's birthday? And Kevin was like, what are you talking about? Like, we're not going to take the whole family so that you can spend 13 hours a day at your conference, like in the middle of, you know, like that's just a silly thing to think. And he was right. That didn't make sense. Like that wasn't how Nora or Charlie or Kevin would want to spend her birthday weekend. And so, you know, Kevin obviously was like, you know, if this is really important for your business and for you and you want to go, absolutely go, like we'll support you. We can do birthday stuff another day. But he's like, you know, Nora is really excited and she's been counting this down for months. And I just really didn't know what to do because I on the one hand, I absolutely love this event. And I also know it's so huge for my business every year. It has actually, and as you guys know, I always talk about, but this business has made my family's life better, right? So the more this business grows, the more time I have with my kids. So on the one hand, I could have justified it and said, well, if my business grows, then I get more time with Nora all the time, right? And so there was a part of me that wanted to say that. But when I really sat with it for a while, I knew that for Nora and for Kevin, it wasn't going to feel right if I, you know, missed her birthday because of a work event. And on the one hand, I also want to point out that, oh my goodness, like that's the beauty of having your own business, right? Because if I had a medical conference I had to go to or something that I was required to do for a corporate job, I don't think I could be like, oh, you know, my daughter's turning 3, I'm not going to show up, right? Like, so that's the beauty of what I do. And that's also where I can say, okay, like, while this would be good for my business, I also have to recognize what's important for my family. And I can still build a great, thriving business and meet the needs of my clients. I can help people get fit and healthy. I can still make a great impact if I'm not there for this event. And it was hard for me because, to be honest, a lot of times people don't go to events like this because they're making excuses in their own heads. And so I sat with that for a while. Is this an excuse that I'm making? And I really, at the end of the day, I realized, like, no, this is about my family and my priorities, and I have to sometimes make these hard decisions. And I still, like, as I see my friends, my coaches that I've mentored going and having such a great time, and I'm not there to sit with them at these events and soak it all in, I wish I was there. I do. I wish I was there. But I also know deep down that's the right decision for my family. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys, because I think so often we think that balance, work-life balance, is something that's so straightforward and it's so easy, right? And I say, oh, I love this like business and I love my kids and I can do it all. And sometimes you just can't do it all, right? Like, give me an emoji or a like or something. If you like, sometimes you just can't do it all, and you got to decide where to focus, right? We only have so much time, and that's okay. And so I did want to, one of the things that I was thinking about was the concept of balance. I just want to quickly make this something that maybe you all can use, not just to tell my own story. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be live streaming that event. I'm going to be posting about that event. And actually, I did miss that event one other time in my career as a coach, which was when I had Nora. And I literally was like nursing a baby, watching this event live 3 years ago, okay? So that, like, let me tell you, it still is amazing. It still fires you up. It's still an amazing, amazing company. And I believe so much in everything that I do. But the beauty is that I can run this business on my terms and my family's terms, which is exactly why I do this business instead of, and why I use this business to free up time with my family. But I want to talk about balance, because sometimes you just can't do it all, right? You get Michelle and Chris are like dropping some emojis, so maybe you guys get it. You can't do it all. You can't be there 100% of the time for your kids and 100% of the time for your business and everybody else in the world. Like, you just can't. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, like, you can't do everything, right? And so I want to talk about balance really quickly to wrap this up. So balance is not what we think it is. Balance is not that you just give everybody equal amounts all the time and everyone gets the same amount of time. It doesn't work that way, okay? Balance is actually, it's like walking. So you're putting one foot down and then the other foot down, right? You're actually counterbalancing all the time. You're still balanced when you're walking, right? But you do pressure here, pressure there, more weight one side or the other. So you have to think about it that way. And there's a great quote. So this book, by the way, is called The One Thing by Gary Keller. It's really good. He has a great concept in here that I always think about with balance. And he talks about how balance is about priorities. And when it comes to work balance, work is a little different than family and friends and other things, right? Work is something you decide where to put your energy and your focus into and how much you want to put into it. Family and friends and things like that, you can't neglect. And your health, you can't neglect those things. Those things have to always have a little bit of you, right? I can't say I'm just going to work on my business for 2 years and ignore my kids. It doesn't work that way, right? But I can say in my business, I'm going to focus on this most strategic activity and still leave time for my family, right? So anyway, this quote really hit home. It's from James Patterson from a novel called Suzanne's Diary for Nicholas. And he says, imagine life is a game in which you are juggling 5 balls. The balls are called work, family, health, friends, and integrity. So work, family, health, friends, integrity. You're keeping all of those balls in the air, but one day you finally come to understand that work is a rubber ball. If you drop it, it will bounce back. The other 4 balls, family, health, friends, integrity, are made of glass. If you drop even one of those balls, it will be irrevocably scuffed, nicked, perhaps even shattered. And guys, like, first of all, this book's great, The One Thing. But that, at the end of the day, I realize that's why I feel peace about this decision, because I know for my daughter for this weekend, I can't not be here because I don't want that glass ball to break. And I know that my business is a rubber ball and I choose where I'm going to focus on it. And I know that it will bounce back even though I didn't necessarily do the 100% thing in my business my workaholic self wants me to do right now. And that, frankly, this is something I would have never even learned if it wasn't for the fact that I do coaching, because I would have never started reading books like this and thinking like deeply about my priorities and balance and what I want and what I don't want. And how to make better decisions. So anyway, let me know if that resonates with you, but I want you guys to think about like the 5 balls that you're juggling in your life, right? And how can you make sure that you're constantly like giving your family, your friends, your integrity, your health a little bit of you, and recognize that work is not something that you always have to give up for your family. Even though if you do your work wisely and choose the right work opportunities, you can still have room for a family. And that's one thing I've learned through doing this business. So I don't know if that was like totally organized thoughts or not, guys. I'm still processing this because it was a hard decision for me. But post below if this is helpful, and let me know if you guys have other questions about that or if you have experiences like that to share. I'd love to hear. So, and I will be blowing up your feed with all the cool announcements from that event this weekend, even though I'm not there. So, sorry, not sorry. Have a good night.